What if the key to emotional resilience in a chaotic world wasn't more comfort, but more clarity in a time when stress, fear, and grief feel overwhelming, when anxiety, burnout, and information overload define our daily lives? Ancient wisdom might seem out of place, but it's not. The Stoic philosophers faced political turmoil, social unrest, loss, betrayal, and mortality just like we do, only in togas. Their core belief: you can't control what happens to you, but you can master how you respond. This is why Stoicism matters now more than ever. It offers mental armor for the modern world. In a culture obsessed with comfort, Stoicism teaches clarity. In a world chasing validation, it teaches self-command. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In the following journey through the teachings of Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest minds, we'll discover how to confront adversity with calm, mourn with grace, and live not just longer but wiser. One of Stoicism's greatest minds will discover how to confront adversity with calm, mourn with grace, and live not just longer but wiser. Stoicism, a philosophical school that originated in ancient Greece and flourished in Rome, offers profound insights into achieving emotional resilience and tranquility. Founded by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC, Stoicism emphasizes the development of self-control and rationality as a means to overcome destructive emotions. Its teachings encourage individuals to focus on what they can control while accepting what they cannot, fostering a sense of calm amidst life's challenges. In today's fast-paced world, where we're overwhelmed by deadlines, doom scrolling, and the pressure to stay constantly connected, Stoic principles remain strikingly relevant. They offer tools for emotional stability, mental clarity, and the strength to navigate daily chaos. Central to this ancient framework are the writings of Lucius Annaeus Seneca, a Roman philosopher, playwright, and advisor to Emperor Nero. His reflections on adversity, virtue, and happiness speak directly to the inner turbulence of modern life. His words offer not abstract theory but practical methods to train the mind, fortify the spirit, and choose calm over chaos. Number 1. Seneca's life as a lens for Stoic practice. Seneca, born in 4 BC in Corduba, Hispania, was educated in Rome and trained in rhetoric and philosophy. He rose to prominence not just as a thinker but as a political actor, eventually becoming the tutor and chief advisor to Emperor Nero, one of Rome's most infamous rulers. His life was anything but tranquil. He endured exile, political conspiracies, and ultimately was ordered to die by his own hand. These experiences shaped, tested, and ultimately validated his Stoic beliefs. Through his letters, especially those addressed to Lucilius, a Roman civil servant and close friend, he shows how to practice philosophy in daily life, not from a mountaintop, but from within the noise of politics, betrayal, and power. His guidance feels surprisingly modern, offering not just survival tactics but strategies to live meaningfully amid complexity. Number 2. Facing fear through premeditation of adversity. Lucilius, the recipient of Seneca's most famous letters, faced a daunting situation when a lawsuit threatened to derail his career. Just like someone today might panic over losing their job, going viral for the wrong reason, or watching their plans fall apart. The anxiety is real, and Seneca knew it. He didn't dismiss it but reframed it. He urged Lucilius to visualize the worst-case outcome, to play it out in the mind calmly and without panic. This wasn't negative thinking, it was preparation. Today, this might resemble cognitive behavioral therapy or Stoic journaling. If I lose this job, what remains? What can I still control? That act of mental rehearsal makes fear smaller and the self more grounded. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Number 3. Strength through hardship and mental rehearsal. Seneca believed that hardship is not a detour in life, it is the path. He trained himself by imagining poverty, exile, and death regularly. This wasn't morbidity, but mastery. When he was exiled to the island of Corsica, banished by Emperor Claudius, stripped of power and dignity, he treated it as an opportunity to live plainly and practice what he preached. Today, we might equate this with voluntarily taking cold showers, spending time offline, or budgeting tightly, not as punishment, but to grow adaptable and grateful. When we live too comfortably, adversity feels catastrophic. But when we expose ourselves to challenges, we become emotionally anti-fragile. Seneca knew the goal isn't a life without pain, but a character that can withstand it. Number 4. Mourning with dignity and perspectives. Marcia was a Roman noblewoman who endured the unimaginable, losing her young son Metilius. Her grief was so profound that it drew the attention of Seneca, who wrote a letter of consolation titled To Marcia. Seneca didn't write to dismiss her grief. He wrote to honor it and to temper it. He reminded her that every life comes with an invisible countdown. And while grief is natural, drowning in it does not serve the living or the dead. He told her, "Tears will flow when they must, but they should not drown you." Today, this insight applies to every kind of emotional loss. From the death of a loved one to the collapse of a dream, our culture often offers distractions or false positivity. Seneca offered stillness, memory, and perspective. In pain, he said, "Look not for escape, but for understanding." Number 5. Accepting life's paradoxes with purpose. Seneca often reflected on the paradoxes of life, the beauty of fleeting things, the value of suffering, the presence of peace in the midst of storms. He saw that life doesn't present us with simple binaries of good and bad, but a spectrum where meaning is made by how we respond. Today's digital world pulls us into extremes. Seneca pulls us inward. He teaches us to pause, observe, and accept what is. When your plans fall through, your expectations disappoint, or life feels unfair, remember his words. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. But then he asks, what if we meet that truth with strength? That is the essence of purpose. Number 6. The true measure of a life well lived. For Seneca, living well was not about years, but depth. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it, he wrote. We scroll endlessly, chase endless goals, and miss the substance of the present. Living well means being deliberate. That might mean saying no, changing paths, or sitting quietly instead of chasing noise. It means knowing that virtue, not comfort, is the foundation of peace. Seneca argued that anyone in any station of life can live nobly if they act with courage, clarity, and care. The Stoic life is not passive. It is powerfully engaged with the world while being inwardly unshaken. Seneca's writings remind us of the quiet strength that lies in perspective. In the face of adversity, we are not powerless. We are free to choose how we respond. If this message resonates with you, consider subscribing to the Stoic Code. Join a community that seeks to grow wiser, steadier, and stronger. One principle at a time. The teachings of Seneca offer a timeless mirror through which we can view our own challenges. His reflections on political strife, personal loss, and moral struggle reveal that suffering is not an exception to life. It is a part of life. By facing fear directly, rehearsing adversity, mourning with dignity, embracing paradoxes, and seeking wisdom over comfort, we begin to live not just reactively but deliberately. Start small. Reflect on a single idea that stood out. Carry it with you today, then tomorrow, then the next. In doing so, you commit to a life of depth, not just duration. Subscribe to the Stoic Code and join others walking this path. Leave a comment with your thoughts. Your reflections may be what someone else needs to hear. And remember, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body.